2020 Tokyo Olympics now. Some world records, some Olympic records, history made there. Team USA made a lot of history, winning 39 gold medals, 113 medals overall, more than any other country. American women dominated the game, 66 medals, and delivering many of the most memorable moments. And then there's the U.S. track and field athlete Allyson Felix. She set a new record for the most U.S. track medals ever won with 11. I'm joined now by one of the most decorated Olympians in the world, legendary track and field star Carl Lewis. Sir, it is an honor to have you on. Thanks for being with me.
Thank you. I hope you're enjoying your afternoon, but I spent many mornings waking up with you.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Better hours. I appreciate you staying with me. Let me start here with Allyson Felix. 11 medals, surpassed your record, which held for 25 years. You got your 10th in 96. How you feel about that?
Oh, I've known Allyson since she was in high school. Matter of fact, right after she finished high school and this kind of career started, she came and stayed with my mother for a few days because I knew her coaches. So I'm so proud of her. She's been such a lady throughout. Records are actually borrowed. Medals are owned. So I don't mind sharing any record. And now she passed me, so it's hers. And I'm looking forward to the next person. And you know what? The way it's going, it's probably going to be another woman someday.
Yeah, let's talk about that because, as you said, the women, I mean, if they'd been their own country, U.S. women would have been fourth in overall medals. They did so well this time around. U.S. men, especially track and field, not as well. You were quite passionate about the 4x100 relay. You told this to Christine Brennan of the USA Today. It's so disheartening to see this because it's people's lives. We're just playing games of people's lives. It's totally avoidable. And America's sitting there rooting for the United States, and then they have this clown show. I can't take it anymore. It's just unacceptable. It's not hard to do the relay. Tell us why you're mad, Carl Lewis. What did you do? Tell me. What went wrong?
Yeah, well, basically what's happened, there's been a failure of leadership. And I think that the thing about it, I was very passionate, and I did my tweets and my discussion. And so now it's around the world, and I don't think we can make these same mistakes. And because it is true, we've got to take this serious. You're representing someone else, and that's when it's the highest honor. So I think that we need a change of leadership of how we put these young people in position. And I think we need to also hold the coaches and those people more accountable, because when it happens, we immediately went to the athletes and asked them, well, let's go ask the coaches why it didn't happen. And But on the women's side, look, Title IX was one of the most important things to ever happen for sports, period. And we are now seeing the benefits of Title IX. The women continue to fight for equality, and they fight for opportunity. And that's why there's so much more grit when you see the women run than even the men sometimes now.
You know, one of the legacies of the Tokyo Games will be the conversation about mental health. As we saw Simone Biles pull out of several events, she came back and earned bronze in that last event. How should we change this conversation about the mental health of the top-level athletes?
Well, I think it's so important that we're having this discussion because we do go through a lot of challenges. I mean, even myself, I went through all kinds of things behind the scenes. But I think what we have to do is just open it up and broaden it up, because a lot of times it doesn't just come from just the pressure of competition. It maybe comes from pressure of a country that pushes you, or a facility, or a person, or maybe you put too many things on your plate you don't realize until afterwards. So I think that what we need to do is look seriously at the mental health of these young people, but broaden it in a way that it's not just the mental health side, but it's also the overextension side. It's just the pressure side. And so we can look at everyone around these young people and help them get through this situation or their careers in a way that they can be their best.
We're about 6 months out from opening ceremonies of the Beijing Games for the Winter Olympics. David Culver just told us they've got some COVID outbreaks there that they're dealing with, some of the largest they've seen since the start of the pandemic, more than a year. What's your degree of confidence that the Winter Team USA will be safe as we head into the next games?
Well, the one thing about what we're seeing with COVID is it's unfortunate that we don't have everyone on the same page. I was so happy to work with the University of Houston and those athletes, and they got vaccinated. They were in line, and they're doing their best. But I think we have to be realistic. We're going to be dealing with COVID for years now, and so we're going to be whether it's 2021 or 22 rather, 23, even through 2024. I think we'll still have these issues because we're not having everyone on the same page, especially here in America in a lot of cases. Number
Yeah.
two, you have so many countries that are going to take a long time to get vaccinated. So I think what we need to do is just understand that and say, okay, what do we need to do to make it as safe as possible, assuming that we're going to have to deal with this in the future.
Carl Lewis, thank you for being on with me. I've enjoyed this conversation. It's good to see you, sir.
Great. Thank you very much.